Okay, hi. All right, it's May 1st, and I am so tired. I wrote, well, not even the entire month of April. This is Wwhd week 5, going into week 5, or how was week 5? I'm not even sure anymore. I feel kind of shell-shocked. My whole purpose I took the month of April to write a book, to lose weight, develop better habits, and to work on my debt. I'm taking the whole year from April 1st to March 31st of next year, whenever I turn 60, to try to write a book. Get down to 140, work on better habits, and pay off all my debt. How is that going? I impulse bought an air conditioner yesterday, but you know what? It's Texas, and I'm okay with that. And it was $270. So I'm working on the debt. I have 11 more months to work on the debt. I'm down to 162, up from 166 at the start of this month. If I just lose 2 pounds a month, I will be happy. I will be down to 140. And I have, as of right now, I just got paid. As of right now, I have $200 left after paying off all my bills. And really, I have like a little loan, you know, credit unions, you have like a little loan of $200 that I paid off that I can draw from. So that's really actually $400, but not really. I have $200. And then I'm going to donate plasma throughout the month. So that's about $400 a month. So that's how the debt is going. How is the writing going? You know, I'm not going to edit this too much. I'm going to put my weight and my Zumba stuff at the end, which I didn't do on the last video. But I'm not going to edit this too much just because I'm not trying to grow a YouTube channel. I'm just babbling at this point. I never tried to grow a YouTube channel. I don't ask you to follow. I don't ask you to subscribe, because I'm not trying to influence you. I don't think anybody can influence you until you're ready to be influenced, and I'm not trying to influence you at all anyway. But all I'm trying to do is use this as an accountability tool, which I have always done. So I'm almost like apologetic to you, because I feel like I've been doing a really bad job. I've not intentionally, I don't intentionally do a bad job. I just kind of do at the videos. I have not gotten to where I want with the story, but of course it's been a month. I have written, I am 30% more better toward writing a book than I was on April 1st. I have created characters. I've created storylines, backstories. I'm thinking about 3 books, and I'm thinking about book 1 and where to land in each character's storyline. Plus, the more characters you, because I'm creating this city in Southwest Texas, kind of like in the Alpine Marfa area, just maybe a little west and kind of out inconvenient. South of, if you go to Marfa, south of Marfa, there's a ghost town called Shafter, and that's where my mother's from, actually. That's the only reason I know that about that. But it's on the way to Big Bend. So I'm thinking there is actually, I don't know if it's on the way to Big Bend. I think Alpine is on the way to Big Bend. Anyway, there's I'm setting my city somewhere in there, and it's a little town. It's dying, and there's people there, and my main character ends up there, and I keep changing her backstory, because something has happened, and she's like left her, you know, corporate successful career, big city, and she's been van lifing, but you know, she's running out of steam. So she goes to visit her uncle in a town where she once got lost when she was a baby, you know, 10 or 11 years old. And she got found by another youngster at the time, kind of like bonding them. They were both kind of lost, going through, you know, trying to make their way back to the town. And so I have that kind of history with there, because her uncle lives there. And at first I had that he had died and that she had inherited because her parents died. Now I've decided that her parents haven't died, neither has the uncle. So, I mean, like, what emotional pull would she have to go to the town if her uncle wasn't there? And then why would she stay there if her uncle wasn't, you know, was already dead? But this is the whole thing. I mean, do you know that Darth Vader was not Luke's father right up until the moment he spit out those words? Because George Lucas hadn't thought about it. And I draw comfort from that. Not that I think I'm going for Star Wars. I'm actually going for Ted Lasso. One of my biggest complaints about Yellowstone, which I love, I really like, even though it's a little cloying. It's just a little too, it's got a little bit too much bravado. Just like that much. Just that much, too much. And I really love Ted Lasso, even though I think it's just slightly, I mean, like teensy, I mean, like a millimeter too, like, aw. But the thing I don't like about Yellowstone is that all of his women are tragic. They've all got tragic backstories. Or something happens to them. They're always getting beaten up or raped or something. I mean, my God. And he's got no Mexican women in there. I mean, Native American women, great. I am here for it. I really am. Native American people in general in media, I am here for it. It's, you know, good. It's good. But the main character, one of the characters, the wife of one of the sons in Yellowstone, is not even Native American, first of all. But okay, you know, that's great. And I know that I think there's some Mexican Americans in there somewhere. I think there's a sheriff. But I mean, another video that I really like is, or not, another series that I really love is The Pit. One Hispanic person, I'm not really sure of his origin, but Mateo, one person, but they are in Pittsburgh. I don't know Pittsburgh. It's just all of these shows that I really like, I really connect with, and there's absolutely no Mexican Americans. And I'm not going for a Latino. I've never really watched what is his name? The comedian, not George Lucas. What is his name? He's wild looking now. I mean, his hair is just all over the place. Oh my God. You know who I'm talking about, right? Anyway, he had a show. And, you know, I never saw it because it just didn't interest me. Isn't that terrible? Because I don't want to write a show about Mexican Americans. I want to write a show that's character driven, that's funny, that's heartfelt, that's kind of cheesy, kind of like Ted Lasso, kind of like Virgin River. If you could marry the two and make it all of, you know, replace the cast with Latinos, that is what I want to make. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. There's a template, you know. Single woman comes into a new community, running from something, and makes friends, or, you know, becomes part of the community. Then the past catches up with her, and then the community supports her, and she finds her way going forward because of, you know, the support and strength she's gotten through the community. That is what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so all of that to say that I watch and engage with and really love the same shows you love. But that is the thing. It's like, I guess, that is the whole point. And that there's no minorities, but we haven't developed the strength in numbers and the cohesiveness, which there isn't, by the way. You think about Latinos, there's Cubans, there's Puerto Ricans, there's the people in East Los Angeles. And I guess, I feel like I'm in the minority, and there's injustices. I am not waxing over that. I mean, I could go on my little soapbox here and be very, very off-putting. Oh my God. I could be very off-putting with my political beliefs, which are like, if you could there's a video of this beautiful girl, woman, throwing something into the stands, and like, if you could take my beliefs, and if the stands were liberal views, that's where my political leanings are. And I could get extremely political on here. So, and I don't know why I feel like I have to defend myself. When I say I am not trying to make a story about Latinos. I'm not trying to be political. I think one of the best thing, how people tell you, the best revenge is a good life. Exactly. That's exactly. I am trying to make a good life story that just happens to have Latinos. I don't want to, I'm not going to use any little dog whistles like, abuelita, or tia, or tortillas, or anything like that. There just happens to be stuff in there because it happens to, I happen to know it from my past, but it's not about that. I mean, I have a taco king who's vegan. I have a taco vendor who is vegan, and they have a nature, what is that called? Where they take neglected animals. Yeah, I mean, I have, I do have other nationalities in there. One of my Latinos is married to a Hawaiian because they were in the Navy, and I happen to know a couple. The man is Latino, and his wife is Hawaiian. That's just, I'm drawing things from. I have a big guy who doesn't know how to cook, doesn't know how to take care of himself, and now he's like, he's a laborer, and he had bronchitis, and now he has medical bills. My brother never learned how to cook. He got bronchitis, and actually he never learned to cook. But that's one of my storylines, so I'm drawing from those. I guess my whole point is, which I'm like communicating very badly, is that I don't see Latinos in shows, and that's annoying. And the shows that I do see with Latinos in them, and I don't watch any of the cop shows. I know that there's Latinos in cop shows. I don't watch any like Boston Blues or what is that, Law and Order. I don't watch any of those because there's tons of those shows. And I have an addictive personality, and once I get watching them, I'm just going to continue, and I will never leave my chair. So I don't watch any of them. I know there's Latinos in there, good like that, but I really want just one show, and I'm talking about shows because I want to write this book series, and then I want to write a television pilot. I may even write the pilot before the end of this year, the end of this 12 months. I mean, why not? Why not just put it out there into the universe? It could be a pilot. It could be something that is engaging. I mean, the West is so popular right now. And you know how they're doing, like the Pit, Noah Wiley. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen Sean Hattasey in a lot of things, but he was like in the 90s and early 2000s. He was everywhere. And this is the first time I've seen him. And I know he's probably been in a lot of things because, I mean, why wouldn't he be? But the guy from the Crosbys, or the Crosby Show, the son-in-law, I saw him in there. What I'm saying is that it seems like there's a lot of older actors that come into play. Jeff Kober, who was one of my biggest fucking crushes whenever he was in China Beach. Oh my God. Like I mean, be still my heart. Oh my God. Jeff Kober was in the last like 2 or 3 episodes of The Pit. Oh God, you know, I'm sorry. I may need a moment. I mean, he's just, yeah, you know, but he was big, and I'm sure he's been in things as well, but I just haven't seen it. I just like, what I'm saying is that if I were to write a book and it gets published and it gets, you know, picked up for, you know, if I were to write a teleplay and it gets picked up, I could, you know, there's a lot of Mexicanos, a lot of, you know, Tex-Mex people that you could bring in that maybe are older, that were, you know, here and there, but now, you know, yeah, I just think that would be great. Like, I wrote a screenplay about the descendants of Aztec, and I'm just going on because I know nobody's watching. But I wrote a screenplay about the descendants of Aztec gods living on Earth, and I have an idea of like a creature who is actually the reason people think of the chupacabra. But I just think like I just think that Cheech Marin would be amazing in that capacity. Just somebody. Anyway, I'm going to give myself the permission to, this is May 1st, Monday is going to be the 4th, giving my permission to take this entire week and next weekend, and then just sit in front of my TV. Reread my favorite books, but in a way where I'm analyzing now. What is it about it that I find compelling? Like, I find the dialogue of, the master of rewatchability, Quentin Tarantino, and I like The Office, Firefly. I know, Joss Whedon, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But I honestly believe that artists and the art themselves are two separate things, even though fuck him, okay? Fuck him. But I get it. But the art itself, Firefly, that one series, masterful, man. It's just so good. Firefly, Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Ted Lasso, The Pit, Game of Thrones, books, It by Stephen King, the Plague one that they've done series about, The Long Walk. I have, or used to have, the oldest book of the 4 Bachman novellas: The Body, The Breathing Method, The Long Walk, Apt Pupil, and I've had that for decades. There has to be an impetus, for you to keep reading, and that's what I'm gonna really work on. And then following the next coming 11 months are not going to be fun at all. I don't have any illusions about that whatsoever. They are not going to be fun. But I think to myself, you know what? The things that I have hated the most, absolutely hated the most that I have done, have been the things that have paid off the most. I hated high school. I dropped out at one point. My mother made me work, so I went back. Yeah. If you ever have a child who just says if they want to drop out, and you can't legally make them not drop out, make them work, make them pay you rent, and real quick they will go back to school. The military, not the best fit for me. Not the best fit at all. And then I told myself I would get a degree, and it took me 10 years. It took me 10 years to get a bachelor's degree. And it was horrible. And I was able to get into the military because I finished high school, and because I was in the military, I was able to go to get a degree, and because I was in the military, I was able to get a house. Because I was able to get a degree, I was able to get a job that will result in a lifetime monthly payment for me whenever I retire. And because I was able to buy the initial house, I was able to sell it and buy this one outright, giving me the extreme privilege of having a paid off house. Not a perfect house. I don't have a stove. I don't have a sink. I don't have flooring. I don't have tile in the bathroom. I don't have many things, but it's mine. And if I can just keep this in mind the next 11 months and really work on this book series, because you think about, oh, this would be a good arc for this person, but later in this next, not everything cannot happen to one person all at the same time. You have to space it out. If I can do that, if I can do it, and I can do it, it's never a question of ability, is it? I mean, everybody has a certain skill. Everybody has something that they gravitate toward, something that holds their interest and they know that they're good at or could be good at if they continue. It's never a question about ability. It's always a question of will, of sustenance, of sustaining, maintaining. It's always that question. And I have always sucked at it unless there is something that I can see, the finish line, the light at the end of the tunnel, but it always has to be some kind of fight or flight. I have to finish this 4 years in the military, otherwise it'll be dishonorable, AWOL, they'll, put me in jail. Okay, that was a clear, no. And then I always was trying to prove myself to my mother, so I had to get a degree. I thought that would help, but I got a degree, carrot, going toward it. So for me, I have to believe that there is something in, an ultimate goal that I am striving toward, and there is. I have always said that I would write something to completion. wanted to be an author, and I never have, but I couldn't have gotten to this place. Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:09 a.m.
Sorry. So I couldn't, Alexa, set an alarm for 9:25.
Alarm set for 9:25 a.m.
I love my technology, even though, yeah, I know it's a curse in some areas. But, so I have to have a fight or flight thing going on, like a goal. I have to do this. I have to write the book in 1 month. I'm going to give myself a, this whole week, next week coming to just like thing. And then after that, I'm going to sit down and really write. I've got the beats. I've got backstory. I've got a lot of stuff, but really write and the dialogue, because you can edit a bad story. You can't edit no story. So I don't think I could have gotten here though. I couldn't have started this series without being here, and I couldn't have gotten here without going throughout the whole, oh my God, dumpster fire that I started out with whenever I started this YouTube channel in October of 2021, when my life was in shambles. And I couldn't have done that without separating myself from family, from friends, and everything else that I knew. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't be here without going through that, because you kind of mortify yourself when you get so far fucking down. At least I did. I mortified myself. Like, oh my God, I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. So I'm separated myself from everything. But here's the thing about me. Like, I grew up in a very critical, dysfunctional home. Everybody else does. But my symptoms manifested in me being a people pleaser. Like, I can walk into a room and I can determine what you want, whether you want me to or not, whether you care. I mean, nobody asks, nobody wants a complete and utter stranger to come into their life and pretend to be who they want them to be. Nobody wants that. Nobody asks for that. But that is what a people pleaser is. They learn at an early age that who they are, how they normally act, is not acceptable, and that we should put everybody else's needs, everybody else's desires and wants, in front of our own. It is an insidious trait, because no matter what, no matter how much we might genuinely like anybody or want to do something, we are doing it out of just a certain amount of self-loathing, of or at its most benign, at self-containment. And that is why I'm not going to put this on all introverts, but that is why I am so utterly exhausted whenever I go into a social setting, whenever I am around people, because I am performing for you. Yeah, I don't even care who you are. I don't want to see you again. I don't want us to be friends. I don't want to hang out. I want to know that I have performed for you and that you are content. You are a happy customer. And who asks for that? It never occurs to people like me that this person who you're coming across doesn't really care who you are, genuinely are. They don't know who you genuinely are. And regardless of what you've been told, you should be who you are in any setting, because so little is riding on it. But we learn at a very young age that, if you act a certain way, if you look a certain way and get into the, a better light, people will find you agreeable, professional, charming, attractive, sexy, or whatever you want me to be. Hey, that is what I'm going to be. And I can tell it is terrible how easy I can read people, and I find myself like even it's like stoplights, as insignificant as that. And all that to say, I don't think I could have the separation of self, the separation of pretense that I constantly had on myself, was constantly aware. Like, I don't go out into public. I work from home. I don't have neighbors. Like, I used to have like a neighbor, like that wall on the other side of it's a neighbor. I don't have neighbors. I'm on a cornered lot, and then the lot next door is mine as well. The next person is on the next lot over, and they're older and they keep to themselves. The person across the street doesn't even live there. I don't have neighbors. I don't have anybody to pretend to be. I don't have anybody to impress. I don't have any of that. So I have space and time I have the mental space to do things with. And do you know that sounds so elemental? That sounds so basic? But some people just aren't raised with that. No, you know what? Stop doing that. Be gracious. Be thankful. Put on some makeup. Like, why? You're going out in public. Why? Pull down your shirt. Don't dress like that. Don't do this, do that. Why? Why? There's no reason why. It's just because. Because you are not for yourself, you're for other people. Wow, I am still working through some issues. I guess because this is new. Some people don't ever come to this realization, is what I'm saying. And I say it's an insidious practice, because we eventually, no matter who we are, get to the point where we resent the fuck out of you. If we are performing for you and you're clueless, like, oh, this is a very nice person. Oh my God, they're so thoughtful. Oh my goodness, they are everything I want them to be. And we eventually really get just bitter, and we resent you because you don't like us for who we are. And you've never met us. You've met our facade. You've met our customer service line. So, all that to say that I feel really grateful that I'm here, and at the same time, so regretful that I was raised the way I was, that I was the person I was for so long, when I could have been doing anything else other than focusing on somebody else and what they wanted, and blaming them, and then getting into that whole dramatic, just so much drama. I'm grateful and regretful. You can be both at the same time. Which leads me back to my story, and that I really want this to be good. Now that I can think about other things, think about what I can create, I really want it to be great. So going forward, I don't know if I need to post every single month, every single week, but I just might, I was posting every week so I could keep myself honest. Like, hey, yes, I am doing Zumba every day. I am not drinking. And I don't think the drinking was the problem, because now I don't even think of drinking. I don't think the drinking was the problem. I think drinking was the way to keep everything, I'm going to have a drink and watch TV. That's what I do. That's what brings me joy. And so going forward, I mean, I think I will post every single week. On Sundays after this week, I'm gonna give myself a break and just think about stuff. It's almost been traumatic. Like look how much I can create, and at the same time, look how much more I need to create. But yeah, that's it. That's all. If you've been hanging out, thanks so much. See you later. So I started the month off at 166 and I ended up at 162. I don't think that's pretty bad. I'm doing a gradual lessening. It took me a year and a half to get up to 160 some pounds. I figure it's going to take a little bit of time to get down to 140, which is my goal, as well as to pay off all my bills and write a book. And this is the amount of pages I wrote.